Mentioning of chemical reactions, the first thing I usually think of is this apple right here. When you cut the apple into half, it's supposed to be white. But if you leave it in open air for a while, it becomes brown and ugly. It is caused by a chemical reaction called browning, which is the process of becoming brown. There are tons of chemical reactions in our daily lives if you take a closer look, such as cooking, baking bread, or even digesting food in our own body. All of these chemical reactions involve one or more reactants changing into multiple products, and they always follow the law of conservation. And so the chemists come up with the idea of writing chemical equation. They think that writing chemical equation can allow them to understand the creation easier while everything remains simple. Before understanding how to write chemical equations, there are two things essential to know. They are reactant and product. Reactants refer to the substance or chemicals at the beginning of chemical reaction. On the other hand, products are the substance or chemicals after the chemical reactions. In Chapter 2, we learned the shorthand method word equation for describing chemical reaction. It is simply equation with words. And here are some steps for writing word equation. Besides word equation, there is also another method to describe chemical reaction. This method is called chemical equation. Chemical equation is symbolic representation of a chemical reaction, and here is an example of roasting. Fe plus O2 become Fe2O3. So the only difference between a word equation and a chemical equation is that they used formulas to replace words in chemical reaction. Under chemical equation, there are two categories. One is skeleton equation, the other one is balance equation. Between these two, they are quite different. For that, skeleton equation is simply equation and formulas, but for balance equation, it is equation, formula, and coefficient, which is small number indicating the ratio of each substance in the equation. In this skeleton equation, you can see that it is not balanced because there are two oxygen in the reactants but only one in the product. In this balance equation, there is a coefficient 2 in front of H2O to balance the two oxygen in the reactant. Besides products and reactants, there is also another thing called catalyst. The purpose that catalysts serve is to speed up the whole chemical reaction. An example of chemical equation that involve with catalyst is manganese oxide catalyzes the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, which then produces water and oxygen. In addition, because catalyst is neither reactants nor products, it is usually written above the arrow. In writing chemical equation, besides arrows and plus signs, there are various symbols is used to indicate more information about this chemical reaction or chemicals. In writing chemical equation, besides arrow and plus signs, there is various symbols to indicate more information about particular chemical reaction. I took this table from a textbook which organized symbols used in chemical equation.
sometimes too with your voice. But that ain't enough for me to move out and move on. I'm just gonna love you like the woman I love. We don't have to hurry, but you can take as long as you want. I'm holding steady, and my heart's at home. With my hand behind you, I will catch you if you fall.